Hey guys, just in my local hiking area, which is like a couple, maybe a minute walking up from my place. Royal Roads in Victoria, BC. Um, Used to be a military college. I was just checking out this ghost pipe or Indian pipe or whatever you call it, but I don't remember if I remember the land name. Unifora? No, I don't know. But it looks like someone cut a whole whack load. Snip, snip. You could still see a bunch that were cut here. One left standing. So, I mean, some of them are still popping up. And they should come back, especially cutting them. But I was then thinking, okay, well, maybe that's why this is like such a disturbed area. All these trees are pretty young. And there's not much vegetation here. But you can see all the sword ferns further down, so you can tell this is an extremely disturbed, human actively disturbed area. I don't know, or maybe it was a slide. We are kind of on a hillside, or maybe it was touched by some sort of industrial activity. Most of the trees up there are pretty young. On this side of the creek, this creek down here is called Colwood Creek. I'll probably find more of these to show you, but in case you don't know about them, what's cool about them is they have a symbiotic relationship. They evolved to be growing in these canopies where no light would come down, so they couldn't get photosynthesis as a flower. And so it's like a tulip flower. And so I believe, I could be incorrect. I'm not a biologist here, so don't take anything I say as correct. But basically, what's cool about them is because they don't create photosynthesis, how do they grow and whatnot? They have a symbiotic relationship where their roots attach to the mycelium, and the mycelium attach the mushrooms attached to the local trees, and so the trees give the mushrooms, basically they have the relationship between the two, and so like they'll give some things and the other things will give other things. So some people think they're parasitic because they don't create their own photosynthesis, but it just kind of shows that everything in this forest can be interconnected, and they're not necessarily parasitic. They're just, humans like to put them all as one thing and individualized, and it's in your own box, and there's no way that you're interacting with your environment. But yeah, pretty cool that they don't do photosynthesis, just this pure white flower. Anyway, let's continue our walk with my cat. Yes, more Monotropa uniflora, if I recall the name correct. Indian ghost pipe, something like that. Sorry, I'll stop shaking the camera. So we're currently on Charlie's Trail. It's where most people kind of tend to walk for a nice little pretty walk, but I'm going to show you some of the cooler spots most people don't know about, but are fairly accessible and easy to see. Just got some more fallen western red cedar, so I feel lucky to be able to see trees this big literally minutes from my doorstep. Because it can be actually quite hard finding old growth on this island. Cities kind of are, we got these nice little protected pockets and provincial parks, and then everything else is like not much left. So yeah, you see here, obviously, the Douglas fir, they get a fungus, and at least I think that's what's going on. And so they chopped the top off that was dying probably, and leaving the tree as a snag. And And then the fallers just cleaned up the mess down below, basically. So let's go check out the dug and see if it's got like a rotten inside, and that's what they're doing here. Yeah, it's still kind of a shame seeing so much active work going on. I'm not sure why the cedar had to come down. They can get a different fungus, I suppose, that's similar. Yeah, it does have signs of inner core rot. Oh yeah. So yeah, that's probably what's going on here. Yeah, it's a natural part of the Douglas fir ecosystem, getting that like rot core. It's like a form of thinning, natural thinning. You know, you got this big sunny open spot now, and so that leaves opportunities for different species that wouldn't be able to pop up without that light gap. Sometimes trees will just wait to germinate until that happens. Yeah, pretty little creek. Cola Creek, I believe this one's called. You can't really see. We got this tree is called green fir, western red cedar, Douglas fir, maple, western red cedar, sword ferns, salal, and yeah, continuing on. So this is the twin of the twirling tower, and you can see it's got a pretty impressive crown because they all lost their tops about 300 years ago. Not the biggest one here, but let's move on to Twirling Tower. Alright, let's see if I'm blocking out the light here. Kind of. Twirling Tower. Second largest Douglas fir. It's not that tall. Yeah, basically about 300 years ago we had a major earthquake. To get the full width here. And the earthquake basically shook the trees and they all lost their top. And so then they spent the next 300 years working on these giant, massive branches to be able to get photosynthesis instead of going up like normal dugs. I would show you the top of one of my favorite cedars. It's not the biggest one here, but you can see it's starting to do the cantilever tops, and it's still got a healthy canopy up there. I don't know if you can see in the light here, probably not. Now that I stop shaking. Anyway, what's cool about it is it's completely hollow inside, and technically, although I wouldn't suggest you do it, you could stand right inside. And you wouldn't know it's completely hollow from the outside. It's just like a tiny little bear den gap. But I believe it must have had a fire. And where's a flashlight? You can't see. But you could stand in there. It's like completely hollow inside. So that's pretty cool, especially if you have kids and you want to show them this creepy little bear den. So we got a lot of canopy species. We got this, probably one of the most impressive grand firs in here. But they're like a canopy species, just like the western red cedar over next to it, which is also decent size. But what's missing from this equation is, where are they in the canopy of? We got canopy species within canopy species. Younger maples kind of fill in the gaps in between, but the grand fir is the tallest tree in here, which isn't normal. They should be the Douglas fir. They're both, grand fir kind of fits below the Douglas fir in the canopy system. So, oh, and there's Doug fir, but Yeah, it is taller for being so young. I think you can see stumps. Basically, that side of the forest, it was all logged. And some of the giant Dougs in here, like this one, the stump right next to me, was clearly logged. I just had to turn around to show you an example. So yeah, that's what's missing from this part of the forest equation, is we got different levels of canopy species without the tallest one. But yeah, let's move on. Alright, just to show you one of many examples of CMTs within this park. Okay. Culturally modified trees. So the cedar at one point in its lifetime had its bark stripped and pulled all the way up, and that healed over, but doesn't kill the tree. So that's called a CMT. Right next to it we got some pretty gnarly old growth maples. Like, take in how big this thing is. Or that one, like super spiner canopy. It just, wow. Sorry, I'll stop shaking. Very impressive maple though. Same with this guy, Burley. Look at the barrels. Let's zoom out. Barrels, barrels, barrels. Ooh, you guys are a little excited. So I'm on a main trail at the start of the Bee Creek watershed. We got lots of western red cedars, a few maples, predominantly Doug fir, but predominantly this is a impressive little western red cedar. And I'm sure most people walk right by this one. You know, it's got a dead top there, but it's got all those cantilever branches, and it's still photosynthesizing, alive, and it's not hollow, it's solid, this one. And it's honestly, I haven't found a bigger one than this in this part. I think it took about 5.5 arm lengths of me going around, and I'm 6 feet, so it's like 33 feet circumference. Let's see if I can get a better view. Approximately, just to get an idea. Oh, I'm not even zoomed in. How do I show how wide this tree is? It's pretty girthy though. So we got the back side of it away from the main path. Pretty cool. Thuya, red cedar. Other ones in the background just aren't as big. This one's impressive. I mean, obviously I've seen lots of bigger ones, but outside of Victoria, this is at least 800 years old. Here we got the leaning twin to the Magna Carta. You can see it lots at its top. Spent the last 300 years developing these massive canopy branches. Let's see if I can show you the other side. This massive thick bark that's had a fire at one point. All these holes. Alright, let's go see the Magna. Alright, so here we're at the Magna Carta, the largest Douglas fir in Royal Roads, possibly the largest in Victoria. It lost its crown 300 years ago from an earthquake. Spent the next 300 years just growing these massive branches that have actually grown taller since it's lost top. Here's my cat for perspective. Yeah, let's see if I can get a farther out view. so I can get its crown, or maybe the other side. Alright, so here's the other side. You can see it's massive thick bark with burnt all the holes similar to its twin, but this one's a straight tower. And you can see its crown way up there. It has branches at the top have kind of cantilevered and grown a lot taller than initially was. And it's gone very thick over the last 300 years. There's my cat. Oh, she's being tangled. I better go. Alright, so yeah, I just really like this maple. It's like definitely old growth. It's got these super long arms. One of them, I don't think it could support its weight. It's so long without being the fact that it's on the ground. This one obviously couldn't support its weight and broke at one point. But this tree is just asking to be climbed. If I was a kid, well, even as an adult, I'm tempted to climb it. It's like, it looks so easy. You could just like walk up that branch and then climb up there, or even trying to climb down there. It just looks so fun. It's a beaut. And then right behind us, it's probably like one of the beautiest grand firs in here. It's a massive grand fir. Grand firs don't grow as big as Douglas firs, so when you see one this big, you're like, ooh, that's an old grand fir. So welcome to the... Oh, Kent doesn't like the wind. It's pretty windy today. But we're at the Saltwater Lagoon. Called Cola Lagoon? I can't remember. Okay, Pete, it's alright. Interesting thing about trees here, growing on the coast in this lagoon, we actually got Sitka spruces. You wouldn't think there'd be any Sitka spruces in Victoria. But, yeah, interesting to know. They always have some pretty gnarly root systems. Base of it. Sucking in that water, it can actually survive in this saltwater lagoon environment. Kind of cool. Almost makes you wonder if there were more after, and why would we just have older and everywhere else. So here on the Bee Creek, we got a cool example of a nurse log. We got a cedar that's fallen down, and then another cedar that's grown over its, I don't know if you can kind of see the log that extends across this creek with other cedars that fall on top of it. So you get this multi-layered cedars growing upon cedars in this wet canopy. Wet understory, sorry. Oh, this doesn't seem normal. We got a owl just on the side of the road. What are you doing, buddy? Oh, are you okay? What's wrong with you, buddy? I think I'm gonna report you. I kind of forgot my cat's on my shoulder, and it hissed at the owl, and the owl flew off. So I guess it's fine. Phoebe didn't approve of seeing the owl. I guess Phoebe could be prey. Anyway, okay, guys. Well, I'm nearing the end of my walk. I'm not the biggest tree man, but anyway, let's keep walking. Oh, that one lost its crown. Anyway, I'm about to exit, and so I just want to say thanks for watching. Hope you appreciate the little local walk in Victoria, BC, Canada, looking through old growth trees in Royal Roads University. This one lost its crown top at, like, pretty much all the Douglas firs. Still a biggie. It is apparently a wildlife tree. Lots of biggies in here. Zoom in on the sign. wildlife tree. That's what all those little woodpecker holes are. Going for little bugs in the burnt bark. Anyway, thanks for watching. Catch you guys later.